Transformers, more than meets the eye. Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the...
Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this new figure unboxing and review, we're going to be looking at the Studio Series 86 Deluxe Gnaw figure. So, what we're going to do with this video, we're going to unbox him live in a second, have a look at everything that comes inside the packaging. We're then going to have a detailed look at him in both of his modes to help you decide how you want to display him. We will of course do some comparisons with him and his original G1 self. Is he going to balance? Probably not. And some of the other Gnaw figures that have been released down the Generations toy line as well. Okay, we're also of course going to have a look at this beautiful box in a second. Before we get started, I want to make a quick thank you to Robot Recruit, because that's who I purchased this from, and they got him to me nice and safe and sound. So as we can see, we've got the 86 all around it, and of course that is because it's from the original Transformers the movie, Studio Series 86, and this toy line at the moment is absolutely blowing me away. He looks brilliant. This, again, I know they've only released 9 figures, but every one of them have been absolutely top draw. This guy looks stunning as well. He's going to take 17 steps to transform him. And yeah, again, great artwork, and first time I've seen this guy in hand as well. So let's not mess around any longer. Let's get him out of his box and have a look at him. And here we go. And again, I mentioned this with the Retgar figure. I think I've mentioned it with pretty much all of them. They just feel different, as in they feel weighty, they feel chunky, they feel a little bit more expensive. There's just, I know it's a deluxe figure, but there's quite some weight in that, to be honest. There's lots of accessories. There's his tail, there's the whole top of the sharkticon, a fin, a gun, everything. So what I need to do now then is very quickly take him out of all this, and I'll come straight back to you. So here he is out of all of his packaging, and as you can see, there's all these pieces. So what we need to do first and foremost, before we look at anything else, is basically attach the back of the shark to him. So we're going to line this hole up in the back as well, but that's not the first thing that you need to look at. What you need to look at is this here. This is basically just a slot, and on the back of his neck, you've got it there. Now you won't be able to slide that in, so what you've got to do is push this whole part up. Now be careful when you push it up not to tilt it left or right, because if you tilt it slightly off, it of course won't click down, and it's much harder to see when you've got this piece attached to the back. So we're going to slot this in there like so. You can see it will go right through as well, so you've really got to get it right on, find out where it is in the middle, and then click it back down. Then you can bring the jaw down and lift the head back up, and then press the back fully down. This will now line up them 2 holes, and you can now attach the shark's fin as well. There we go. So let's have a look at his articulation. We can already see that we can turn his head up and down. We can twist it all the way around, so you've got full articulation there. There is ball and socket joints there at the shoulder, full rotation round, up, down, side to side. Bicep or elbow joint is, however you want to call it, is of course moving backwards and forwards. Wrist does slightly go in and out, but that, as you can see, it looks like it's purely for transformation purposes. There isn't a waist swivel. It's pretty much all solid there, but you can see at the top of the hips, again, these will go out to the side, all the way up, all the way back. Knee lock, and I'm presuming obviously that's for transformation, but you've got a tiny ankle rock there as well. But again, you know, as you'd pretty much expect with all of these new figures, he looks really good. He looks impressive. I'm going to put the rest of the accessories on him later on. Before I do that though, what I want to do is just have a quick look at him in his alternate mode. So here he is in his alternate mode then, and the transformation process wasn't too difficult. It was just the 17 steps that it does say there. For those of you who want to see the transformation process, that will be put up in a separate video. So what we need to do now, again, funnily enough, once he's in his alternate mode, we've then got to attach the tail, which also doubles up in another use we'll see in a second. And as you can see, I think he looks really good, to be fair. I'm quite impressed with this. It looks, I mean, the front especially looks very, very cartoon accurate. I mean, obviously you can tell that all this in the side does look like it's sort of pieced together, but that's me being really, really picky. I suppose they've got to try and cover up and put things in some way, but that's only if you're looking for it. Let's be honest, if you're really looking for it, you can see that there's obviously all pieces there. You can actually even, there's a cutout there, you can attach via the little dowel there his gun as well to him when he's in this particular mode. And again, as I say, most people, if I was going to be displaying him in this mode, I wouldn't be looking too much at the side. It's a little more visible than I realised. As I say, this is the first time I've had this in hand. If I'm being really picky, it doesn't look the greatest, obviously, but I don't know how they could have got away with it. So right, let's do a quick comparison. I'm just going to take the gun off the side of his head with the original. Now, the original one, it's so big, it's crazy. Compared to this guy, he's massive. He really was like a giant G1 figure. So they've got pretty much, well, they've obviously improved on that. But yeah, it's a good homage to the original, but it's more importantly, it's much more cartoon accurate, which is exactly what he looks like there. So let's just pop him up on his stand. But funnily enough, here's another thing I've encountered. No, you can't really get him up on that stand, so that must be only for, I presume it's not, obviously, but it's making it very, very difficult to actually stand him on there. You can stand him in and around it, and I can put cupping pieces on the background afterwards, but as you can see, you can't actually balance him because he's so wide on that. All right then, so let's get him transformed back into his robot mode for his final comparisons. So back for the final time into his robot mode, and this is definitely the way that I am going to be keeping him for display. As I said, a little disappointed actually with how much you can see of the insides of the fact, you know, that it's all his feet and everything all tucked up there. Unless I'm doing something wrong, again, if I am, please leave me some comments in the comments section, because again, I don't know the reason for this. The fact that the feet do that, I thought perhaps it'd be transformation process. It's not at all. I can't find a use for them. Again, I like to be as honest as I can with these figures, so when I get new figures, I just unbox them live and give you my honest opinion. I don't watch anybody else's reviews or anything, so I could be missing something really obvious and blatantly again with that, but I just don't know. Right, let's have a look at him with his accessories, because now he looks so much better. So this has also got its own articulation, and this will spin around as well. That's why it's so good for his foot. So you can see that'll completely rotate as well, although sometimes the claw gets in the way, but it'll still hold nicely. What I want to show you before I put the gun in his hand is, if you wanted to, you could take the fin out. It'll still hold in place, by the way, it won't fall off. And then if you wanted to, again, slightly hindered or hampered, shall we say, by the claw, he's got another knife if you wanted to do it that way. But I prefer to just keep that in the back there, and then of course put the gun where it should go. Really good. There's another thing you could do as well, but it's entirely up to you. I don't know why you'd want to, but you can actually display him with that completely up and out of the way. But yep, he looks far, far better that way. And of course, now we can actually put him on his stand where he fits. And again, he looks very, very good. I'm just going to put a couple of other of the Studio Series 86 figures next to him, just so you can do a bit of comparison. This is the smallest one up until Gnaw, so he's quite a bit smaller. Again, you might get some people saying he's not a deluxe figure. He's not obviously in size, but again, he comes with a lot of things. He's quite chunky, and yeah, he feels really sturdy. Obviously, he's going to be much, much smaller than this particular chap for a size comparison. However, though, if you compare him to his last release under the Prime Wars trilogy, he's a lot bigger. He's a lot bigger than that guy. And again, I would have to say he's a lot better. There is improvements to it. But then what if we want to have a look? I'm gonna have to take him out of this because he's so big. If you want to have a look at him compared to the original G1 in a robot mode, again, very similar. There's the gun. Only problem with this guy, as I'm sure you could tell, is he's very, very top heavy. But yeah, you know, you have got an improvement there. There is an improvement. Of course, he's scaled properly, whereas the Generation 1 one was absolutely huge, which you saw. I do like him. I'm going to be really honest and quite brutal. He's probably the worst out of the 9 that we've got for Studio Series 86 so far, and I think that's only because I'm being really harsh with him in his alternate mode. And again, I have no idea what they are for. I might have a Google and see if I can find out what it is. But there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed looking at him. I hope it didn't put you off too much, because again, he still displays really well in this particular mode. And again, I suppose if you're going to be replicating any of like the Pit of Judgment scenes, you won't see too much of the side of him. But that's my honest opinion of him. There he is anyway. This is Studio Series 1986 Yes, it was 9. I thought I got the year because 986. Gnaw. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching. Like and comment. And don't forget to subscribe.